Welcome to the Life Success and Legacy Podcast. We're glad you're here, and we hope you enjoy the episode.
Hey, everybody. We want to welcome you back to the next episode of the Life Success and Legacy Podcast. My name is Chris Bay, and I'm joined here by the three Mikes. How are you, gentlemen?
Getting there.
Getting there.
All
Mike
right.
Everett, how's that wing going?
It's a little bit intense right now.
Little PT going on?
PT's pretty serious. I think that he thinks that we've had success when I have tears in my eyes.
That sounds like Dr. Brady.
Yeah, about an hour and a half ago, that's exactly what was going on. He said, let's do some mobilization today. I go, what's that? He goes, well, you know that thing you've been climbing up the wall? He goes, that's going to seem pretty easy compared to mobilization.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And then after he started one of these where he was pulling and tugging at the same time, and I actually almost fell off the table. I go, that's mobilization.
I heard Patrick Mahomes is looking for a rehab buddy.
He better come prepared.
Well, it is that time of year. It's the end of 2025, and we're looking ahead to 2026. And as we as humans oftentimes do, it's kind of the natural look back and look ahead. And Dan Sullivan has a book called The Gap and the Gain. And it's a really simple concept, and yet he could write a whole book about it. I think I can explain it in about 10 seconds. When we want to measure our progress, should we measure that against the goals that we have yet to accomplish? No, that's a negative number. When we want to measure our progress, we want to look backwards. We want to look at the gains that we've made. That's a positive number. Do we want to have goals and continue to push forward? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But when we're measuring our progress, we should look back and say, look how far we've come. Okay. So today we want to do a little reflection and looking ahead. We'll start by looking back, but for those of you listening, our look ahead, I'll just give you a little bit of a teaser here. Everything we do, we focus on our clients. It is about the clients learning, their support, their experience. And so we're going to talk about some of those upcoming things that we're targeting for the future. But to begin, we want to look back over the last year or so. But Mike Everett, will you take us way back in history at the dawn of time, back with dinosaurs roamed the earth, and describe what LSL was all about and what a client experience might look like back when LSL started, and it was you as the Lone Ranger.
Well, I remember my very first handful of events. I'm just going to really give this context. I would get 20 of these in my F-150, and I didn't even have I would go to different events all over the Midwest. I'd go to Nebraska, I'd go to Iowa, I'd go to Missouri. I went to all the different things in Kansas. And all I wanted to do was I wanted to get books into people's hands. But then all of a sudden, people started calling me. And they became clients. And I was teaching IBC at a fairly rapid rate because it was just me. I was doing probably 20 to 25 personal presentations a week. Yeah. And I worked with people on the East Coast. I worked with people on the West Coast. And if East Coast people wanted to meet at 7 a.m. their time, I was in front of the computer at 6 a.m. If West Coast people wanted to meet at 8 p.m. their time, it was 10 p.m. my time. I remember I was working 70 hours a week. But then when they became clients, this is our real look back right now. I literally, after they became a client and we did everything that we still do today, I would literally say to them, hey, if you need anything, give me a call. Don't email me. give me a call because I want to talk to you about where you're at. And literally, I had no thought process as to how I personally was going to take care of these clients. I still go back into some of the old files. And I'm talking about 18, 19 years ago, looking at some of those files and all of the stuff that I had chucked into these files had no idea how to handle this stuff. So I will tell you that the face, the voice, the care, the way we love communicating and engaging in our clients has changed dramatically.
Mm.
And I couldn't be more excited about the life, the health, and the look forward of where life success and legacy is going, especially with our clients.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are applying Nelson Nash's very first principle, and that's think long range.
Got to do it.
Yeah, this is well beyond us.
Oh.
We want generations of our clients and future clients to have that coaching, teaching, and support to apply IBC over the decades and beyond. So, okay, let's tap into our memories. From what Mike Everett just described up to today, what are things that you would list in the game? We're looking back and we're measuring that progress. Mike Everett, when I started with you, I was also using paper files. And I don't think Google Drive existed.
No,
right?
well, it probably did. We didn't know about it.
Yeah. Some of us on the team wish it still didn't exist.
Yeah.
Amen.
And I'm reminded, as we've added people to the team, and we don't do that quickly. We're pretty selective. But the personalities and the skill sets of the person that comes on that team, and that's one of the things we look for, is do they add something we don't currently have? And I think about Mike Crawford and your skill set and all the things that you have brought to Life Success and Legacy, one of which is inspiring hope and freedom, right?
Yeah.
So tell people just a little bit about IHF and how that happened.
Yeah, I mean, it all started with me building Mike Everett's website again whenever he came in. And I remember the color scheme of your original website was browns. And like,
it's because he's colorblind.
It was bad. And I remember thinking, okay, he needs help. And, fast forward to 2017, and we were having a meeting, maybe even doing a podcast, I don't know. And Everett was really frustrated with our current situation for handling client strategies. And he was just like, we should build something. And so through the process of working with our good friend and engineer, Casey Morford, we put pen to paper and started really making a plan on how to create software that we could use to give people that hope. And that's why we named it Inspiring Hope and Freedom, is like, it's the goal for the software was purely and simply a simple tool that presented lots of complex information in a simple way so that clients could have hope and feel that there was like something to look forward to. Because that goes back to my very first boot camp in January of 2015, when I wrote down the word hope like 30 times. And I think it still matters.
Absolutely. With that focus on really its education and support, our boot camps have evolved, right? Our teaching has evolved, and how we do it, and the modalities that we do that. I'm thinking back, the different pieces that we each bring. For me, my teaching background, right? And Mike Kwong as well with that. My particular modality tends to be images, drawings, illustrations. And so we added some drawings to our boot camp to help explain the flow of money and how we collateralize our dollars and get multiple purposes of our dollars, and which is just fascinating. But on that piece of education, we also have some books. Mike Kwong. We brought Mike Kwong on, to the team. He was a loyal. He and Pei were loyal clients, and just so passionate about IBC and teaching others about it in their community. And it came to the point, Mike, where you decided to put pen to paper, as Crawford said. But it wasn't for, I don't think your original intent was to publish. I thought it was just for Jackie, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely. It was just, from a series of notes that Pay and I put together as far as, documenting the steps that we'd taken, and the strategies that we found works for us to build up our, system of policies, and use the cash values for investing, for stacking. And it kind of, hit us where Pay was like, this is really powerful and important that, so, something that the public should, have. We shouldn't be so greedy and keep it all to ourselves. Think about, you're already writing it, just, polish it up and maybe put it together between some a cover and a back cover, and that was it.
Put your name and a bunch of initials on it, and let's go.
Yeah, it really wasn't intended that way. It just kind of organically developed. We joke about building a plane while we fly it, right? We were so excited with what we've learned and been able to do with our IBC systems that we were just like, this is perfect. Everybody should at least have access to learn about this.
Yeah, and I would add to that our emphasis when we started was really focused. When you think about the 4 things that IBC does: eliminate outside debt, build your warehouse of wealth, passive income, and then the tax-free wealth transfer. Really, where we spent most of our time was on that very first thing. And in fact, that was the goal of IHF, the software, was to give people hope about getting out of debt.
Yes.
But what we didn't necessarily have, other than starting your policies in your 20s, right? We didn't really have a method or a concept for teaching how to build passive income. And Mike Kwong, that's really where you brought additional knowledge and teaching to Life Success and Legacy, is with the concept of DIBS. So,
and again, I don't want to take all credit. My wife, my better half, has been instrumental there with, Pay. Shout out to Pay.
Yeah.
And she, so.
Well, as we oftentimes say, you guys are a dynamic duo.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we're both teachers too. We were teachers for years, and I add the element of the analogies, to my explanations that hopefully people find useful, right?
Oh yeah.
Especially with kind of tough money concepts, financial things. It helps to bring it down to the physical level of a tree and a shadow, or a shuttle and a booster, right?
Or an ATM machine.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, and I mean, each of us and the rest of the team, we all have different teaching styles, right?
Yep.
And, those who are interested in that concept of family banking. And for me, like, not everybody learns technically. Nelson's book doesn't always resonate with everyone's learning style. We want them to read it because it is the foundation. Yeah. But Mike Kwong did a great job with DIBS. I tried to write Family Banking with Purpose with no numbers and no tables and more of a parable. So we're constantly looking at the people who want to learn, and do we have an avenue that addresses their teaching style, for sure. On that note, I'm going to come back to Mike Everett. There was a day when someone on the team suggested this crazy idea of doing a podcast.
I remember this would have been early 2016 when Crawford said, "Hey, you know what? We ought to do some podcasts." And I go, "Dude, nobody listens to podcasts. Nobody." And he said, "Well, why don't we put 3 on the website and see what happens?" And then all of a sudden we put 3 on the website. And I remember we were sitting down in my office and we were doing this with a computer and a makeshift microphone. And we had no idea what we were doing, to be honest with you.
None.
Well, and I don't think there YouTube, either it didn't exist or we didn't.
We just didn't use it.
We didn't use it.
Probably because we didn't even really have a camera at that point.
No camera.
We just had some big old microphone sticking right in my nose.
Well, the
And,
first three were just off of my laptop. There was no microphone. It was just the microphone built into the MacBook. It was that bad.
Well, the funny thing was, though, what ended up happening was we ended up getting like 30 or 40 brand new calls in like a 60-day period over the 3 podcasts.
Yeah.
And that's when it dawned on me, and I said to Crawford then, oh gosh, this would have been 90 days later. I go, hey, weren't those podcasts a great idea?
So glad you
Exactly.
thought of them, Everett.
And to be honest with you, it really it shifted our focus from going to all of these different events. I mean, there was probably, I think Chris and I at that point in time were doing 6 or 8 different events per year, where we would leave on Thursday night and come home either Saturday night or Sunday, be gone for 3 and 4 days. And they were fun. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it really worked into my forte was to talk to people.
Yes.
And so you put 400 or 500 people in a room, and I'm going to get excited about it. But yet I realized that it was not the best usage of our time as we started to then produce additional podcasts and then YouTube videos and how it's expanded from there. And so we don't do these events anymore. What we do is we focus on creating a better experience with live boot camps instead of going out and trying to find our own things that has just a group of people. We create the group of people now.
Yeah.
Well,
and everybody coming there is like-minded and wanting to learn.
That's right.
Go ahead, MC.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I think that like what really shifted is that we were out seeking people at those events. And now, and I mean this in the best way possible, people are seeking us. We're being asked to come to these locations to do these events. I mean, even Mike and Pei went to Utah to do an event with some clients. And, you know, we've gone to South Carolina as a team, or, you know, back in the day, it was the 3 of us. But like, you know, we stopped trying to seek out, like you said, Everett, and we started listening to and hearing the needs of the people in the community that were saying, you know, something live or something more organized or a different structure would really matter and make us help us continue our learning. And that's what we've completely shifted and embraced in a much different way. I mean, you know, I think we'll get to it in a minute, but just how our boot camp has evolved from where it was, Chris, what you were saying, to what I hope you guys are already thinking for the future.
Yeah.
Now I've got to throw a funny story in here right now, because I remember when we went to East Texas and we had this event in the back end of a barbecue shop. Do you remember that long, skinny? And everybody, if somebody had to go to the bathroom, it was like everybody on the whole side of the table had to get up, and they had that was our very first meeting with Mike and Pei.
Yep.
It was the very first time we had actually met face to face. But I remember us being in this long, skinny room, and the chairs were just all jammed up. And I thought, what are we doing here?
I think more people showed up than what was anticipated.
Yeah, but it was super fun, and we maybe have grown as a business, and our thought process and how we actually do these events now, because we want people to come to these events and be comfortable. We want them to be in a real learning environment, not really worrying about how am I going to go to the bathroom if I've got to step over 8 people.
And Mike Kwong, I want to tap into you, because this year 2025 was a special one for live boot camps. We did two live boot camps, one of which was amazing. We took our entire team back to Hawaii. Can you kind of talk about what that was like, and for you and Pei and for Jackie returning?
Oh, absolutely. So just for some context, right? I mean, we lived in Hawaii for about 7 years when I was in the service, the Navy, and we bought, you know, a house out there. My daughter, Jackie, was born in Hawaii. Made so many friends over those years. But interestingly, you know, since we moved from Hawaii in 2014 back, you know, to Texas, we had not been back, believe it or not. Our friends had visited us, but we had personally, the 3 of us, not been back. So when we had the boot camp there, And over time, of course, we have clients there as well and everything. So it made sense for us to go. Like I said, the call was there, and when we hit the ground, it was just such a reunion personally, to
Mm-hmm.
see all, the sights and sounds and the familiar faces and friends. And for Jackie too, the whole community, and new folks that we hadn't met, came aboard and met us there. It was such a magical, experience, I think. You can,
It was that
really,
I all of our live boot camps are amazing, but I have to say, of all the boot camps I've been at, being in that room with the love, with the
Mm.
vibrations of energy in that room were at a different level than I've
aloha.
ever experienced. It's
Oh,
aloha. It's visceral. You can
mm-hmm.
feel that concept of aloha. It was really amazing.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it just works so well with like our model, business model, it's like lifelong relationships of
Yeah.
trust, respect.
Yeah, that's right.
So let's
It
transition to that. And what has, in terms of building community and touch points, what are the different pieces that Life Success and Legacy has put into place, whether it be meetups or front porches, all the different things that we do, different ways that people
Mm-hmm.
can come together and
Mm.
be a part of the community and support the chats, all those. So I'll put it out to you guys. What comes to mind right away for you guys?
Well, you already mentioned that increased presence online, with our podcasts, and then as well having the online meetups, right, with
Mhm.
Front Porch or in the Dibs chat group, because this thing IBC, I always tell people it's a full contact sport.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just something you buy off the shelf, and set it and forget it. If you did only that and paid your premiums every year, it'll work fantastically. But the real fun is when you get to take it, and start using these cash values, into really fun projects or investments or paying off debt, doing all kinds of powerful things. That comes with um, a lot of guidance and education, obviously, but
Yeah.
really takes off when you have a community that you can roll into and be a part of,
Mm.
and learn from everyone, not just coaches like us or experienced folks, but even new people. They may ask questions that you haven't thought of, right? So having that, community, whether it's online, we meet twice a month, with group Zooms, even in person. We have our potlucks, right, where we can, to break bread and just, come together, to be able to continue on this journey. Yeah. But it's better with friends for sure.
MC, you want to describe Front Porch a little bit for people?
Yeah, Front Porch was actually your brainchild, Bay. But like, I think that the benefit of the Front Porch has been the idea of, I think you use the example in the South, people sit out on the front porch drinking, sweet tea, waving at their neighbors as they go by, just having conversation, sort of casual. And that the concept of the Front Porch for LSL is a casual, in this case, Zoom front porch, where we just chit chat. Maybe there's a topic we start with, but it morphs into a different topic. I think even this last one that we did, you guys started off with more information about our support channels and team and those who are involved and engaged in our support for the clients that we serve, and allowing clients to then ask questions or, just dive into topics that branch off of where the original conversation started. It's just less formatted, right?
Mhm.
There might be a miniature format, but it's loose, and it's in its design on purpose so that people can take control and we can hear from voices in the community to get those questions out in the ether.
And then what I would say is we've talked about all these online connecting points, but Mike Everett, the the sweetness is when we get to be face to face. And I'm reminded of a live boot camp we did this past year in Lawrence, and
Mm-hmm.
you and Linda hosted the entire community at your home.
Yeah.
Can you just talk about so for people who weren't there, who didn't come, like what did it feel like? What did it look like? What were the conversations that were happening?
Well, you know, if I just had to kind of set the tone, when you're thinking about doing it at a hotel or a conference center versus a home, there's a whole lot of planning that goes into that brainchild. And I remember we wanted to do it right, and we wanted it to be elegant, but we wanted it to be homey. And my wife got so excited about all of that, and it turned out to be really one of the best, I guess, functions we have ever hosted at our home. And I remember starting to look at the numbers, and I thought we were going to have 85 people come in, at least sign up for the boot camp, but we had 68 of them show up
The
at
night
our house.
before.
At our house, but yet fortunately we planned for enough food, we planned for enough tables, we planned for enough everything, and just the conversations and the camaraderie and the family atmosphere that we had at our home was just second to none. And I'll chime in what MK talked about. You talk about aloha. It was really a
Kansas
really
version of aloha.
I am telling you, it was really I mean, when you're getting to talk to somebody face to face that you've only talked to either on the phone or in a Zoom call, and you actually get to hug their neck, it is a whole different deal. We had people from Minnesota, from Kansas, from Texas, from California, from Las Vegas, from
Georgia,
Pennsylvania, Georgia,
Chicago.
Florida. And I am going, holy cow, this is just absolutely unbelievable. And to think back 20 plus years ago that this is what has happened is just, it's really almost too much to even think about for me, because of the community that we've actually grown and the friendships that we have established and are building on. And now we're getting multiple generations, and it's pretty cool, and I'm doing my really darndest to hold it together.
Kwong, from your perspective, because that was a special, that whole weekend was special, but that evening especially, I think, was special. And you talked about coming back to ground zero for the boot camps because you'd never been here. And then if you can just describe what the feeling was and what it looked like from your perspective in the basement that night.
Oh yeah, the basement. I don't know how. I mean, we must have violated some fire codes, but we packed it with like 60 people down there. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Mike, you've got a great big house, but it was packed.
Yes, sir.
It was full up the stairs. Going upstairs was chock full of people.
And we just did a kind of another meet up on a specific topic with income stacking pay, and I did a quick walkthrough on how that works with our policies, and how that potential for passive income can be built out over a very brief time. But I mean, people were locked in, they were excited, and it was such a blessing to be able to do that. And Mike and Linda, I am ever grateful for you guys opening your home like that, because you didn't have to.
We're ready to do it again.
Yeah, can't wait.
That was so cool.
Well, and for me, looking around the room as it was all going on and seeing the different generations and seeing the eyes, not that everybody understood everything that was going into, but for my kids specifically, who were both there in their 20s, and getting to see Mike and Pay talk about this, and they live, they've grown up with this concept, but it's one thing to hear dad and mom talk about it. But when you see Mike and Pay talking about it, it's a whole different angle.
Yeah.
I want to talk just real quickly, and then let's just transition to the things that we're excited about going forward. One of the things is we've put in place is a support team. And we have a specific email for all of our clients that they can email, support@lifesuccesslegacy.com. And that is going to get our clients the quickest, most effective response, because many times we're all involved in coaching sessions. And if you email us, or call us, we can't get back to you right away.
Right.
So what we would encourage you to do is for all of our clients, put into your contacts on your phone, on your computer, put support@lifesuccesslegacy.com in your contacts so that when we respond to you through that, it doesn't go to your spam. Okay. It's very important. You will hear us continue to repeat that, but that's going to get our clients the quickest response. Or I will also say, if you have a quick question, post it within our chat groups because people respond very quickly, immediately within the chat groups as well. Yeah. Much quicker than trying to get a hold of one of us yahoos.
Yeah.
Okay, looking ahead, what are some other things that we're excited about and we've been working on behind the scenes, again, to focus on the learning and the support of our clients, which is the central target of everything that we do? What comes to mind for you guys?
Resource library.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Huang, you want to talk a little bit about the resource library?
Sure. Yeah, so we're planning on having a dedicated page, I think on our website, where we have direct access to resources, short videos, instructionals on specific topics, or procedures, or how to take loans. How-tos. A lot of how-tos that people are going to ask about all the time, and instead of one of us answering one person, right? I think you guys call it the one-to-many, right? Yeah. Having that available in a dedicated page, not just for how-tos, but even topical education on key terms of a policy, right? Who the players are, or interests, and how that works, policy loans, things like that. So that's a really exciting development. We can't wait.
Many of our clients are self-starters, and we love talking to them, but they don't want to wait. They want to dig in themselves, and they want to learn themselves. And so we are listening to that. I mean, it comes from the requests of our clients. And so we are making a priority of building out our LSL client resource library.
Well, and the resource library, the support@lifesuccesslegacy.com email all came out of this thing called EOS.
Yeah. So if people aren't familiar, EOS stands for Entrepreneurial Operating System. There are books out there. If you look up Traction, it is a operational system for entrepreneurial businesses. And last spring, before we went to Hawaii, I posed to the team. I said, "Hey, would you guys consider reading one of these books from the Traction Library?" But that's not the first time I've suggested the team read a book. So I got some raised eyebrows and some, sure thing.
Yeah, we will.
But I think, Mike Crawford, you might be a good one as the integrator for the team of kind of talking about how you have seen EOS and Traction play out for us and how then that's benefiting our clients.
Well, so I think our team has always been focused on clients, right? It's been a conversation since you guys hired Shelly in 2016, 17, whatever. It's like, absolutely, just, focus on clients. And, going back to the email, even like that was one of her things, was to help manage your guys' inboxes back then, even, and making sure that clients were getting the care that that we thought they deserved, through this process. When you introduced the Entrepreneurial Operating System, say that 5 times fast, EOS, I was a bit hesitant because I thought, well, this is just another toy, this is another gimmick, if you will, for like getting us another personality test of some sort, But as I dug into it, what I realized is that all of the things that we've wanted to do for our clients, we've never really had success implementing a lot of them. Like, it's a lot of talk, a lot of tabling, a lot of documents created that get lost into the Google Drive Netherland. And, we just sort of we wanted to row the same direction, but it was that our oars were not doing the thing they should be doing. And so EOS has provided us an opportunity, in my opinion, and I think the team has seen success from it, to start rowing in the same direction and accomplishing bigger goals on a quarterly basis than we thought we could even do in a year. And we've only really been doing it for roughly a quarter and a month or so, not even. But if you look at the successes that we've been able to have as a team, which not going to go into here necessarily, but the things that we've been able to accomplish and the goals that we've been able to set moving ourselves into Q1 of this next year of 2026 is, the gains are massive. And I'm not even talking big ticket items. I'm just saying all of these little things, getting our Google Drive a bit more organized, getting clients, the support email came from this. The concept of the or the idea of the resource library came out of this, and we're continually building that through more conversations. Just the list is long. And
I'm even thinking about the success steps for our clients.
Absolutely. I'm going to forget 100 of them. The Shelley and the support team created a form for clients to request new policies so that we get more information on the front end. They created a way for us to send out information on a monthly basis for policy annual renewals. These were ideas that we've had for years in their infancy, and we've been able to take them through EOS and through just rowing in the same direction as a team. Even the little the engine that could, if we are the little engine that could, we've accomplished a lot, and I think we're seeing successes from our clients even already in the beginning of this process. It's insane.
I'll give one little snippet. We had a client who was kind enough to, we sometimes use our clients as guinea pigs and when we're testing things out. So shout out to all you guys who do that. But we created a kind of a guide or a checklist for anybody to go through on an annual review, just to make sure that you've got your policies updated and you've got your beneficiaries updated and all those kinds of things. And we sent it out to one of our clients and said, hey, would you mind going through this before we meet for your annual review? And he went through it, and it was a draft. It was a draft form.
It was rough.
And it was rough. And he emailed back to Shelley and said, I don't need to meet with you. I got it. This is great. So these are the kinds of things that we're working on and trying to create for our clients at their request oftentimes. One of the things I'm super excited about is April 11th. Mike and Pay are going to host a boot camp, and I'm going to say a mastermind down in Houston. So April 11th, to our listeners, put that on your calendar.
2026.
Of 2026. Thank you. And we are working on revamping the format of what that boot camp looks like. And there's going to be several pieces to it. I'll give just high view of it. The morning is going to be kind of the traditional boot camp, but there's going to be much more opportunity for engagement and sharing of ideas. And we're going to have new people there, as well as what we might call ambassadors. Those are clients that are there that new people can ask ambassadors what their experience has been like, how they've used IBC and those kinds of things. Then in the middle of the day, we're going to have a lunch where that conversation can continue between people who are coming in and those who have been there, and just a sharing of ideas. Then in the afternoon, we're going to do what we're calling a mastermind. And that will be topic focused, and people will get to engage with, listen to, participate in a variety of topics throughout the afternoon. And we think it's going to be, our goal is to have it less of the talking heads of us, right?
Yep.
And especially for our existing clients who continue to come to boot camps. Thank you for doing that. But some of them have heard that boot camp so many times that we want your voices to be heard. So we're designing it where it's much more engaging, and new people as well as experienced IBCers are all going to get to collaborate around that. So that's April 11th in Houston, and we're really excited. And it's not just the boot camp and the mastermind. There's also meetups that happen. And like we hosted at Mike Everett's home, there will be opportunities to engage and break bread during that weekend as well. Anything you guys want to add around that Houston boot camp on April 11th?
No, check your tickets, come on down. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, we're going to post the event on the website just so that everybody has the date down and the time. But we'll continue to add more details as we get them. We've got a lot of work to do to get the boot camp formed as far as like the logistics. But stay apprised of any updates on our website and on our podcast and in our just general community channels. We're going to continue to update y'all on that.
And I'll just say, I mean, we're going to be reaching out to some of you, our existing clients, as ambassadors, and we want you to participate and have a role in these boot camps where it's more than just us. It's a community that's doing this. So, we're super excited and looking ahead to the Houston boot camp. We do have a virtual one in January as well. So if you can't wait till Houston, we have a boot camp in January that will be online. Okay. Last point I want to make as we wrap this up. Mm-hmm. Our desire at LSL is to grow and expand the community. And the best way for that to happen is through all of you who are listening in right now. And whether it's calling over some friends and watching a webinar with Mike Everett on a Monday night and having a watch party and ordering some pizza and just talking about, well, what questions do you have? And here's how I've been using IBC and what it's done in our lives, or whether it's attending a boot camp, a virtual one or a live one. Whether it's coming to a meetup, we want to expand the community because it's just so fun. When we had 80 some people show up in Lawrence and we got to share stories and hugs and all of that with people we've talked with, but we haven't ever met face to face. You just cannot replace the in-person live interaction that happens at a live boot camp. So thank you to all of you. Let's expand the community. Let's expand the knowledge. Let's expand the creativity. And we look forward to seeing as many of you as possible at our both virtual boot camps, but that live boot camp in Houston will be a blast. So thank you guys. Mike Everett, thanks for allowing the rest of us to jump on ship with you. You're
it's been a blast.
Rugged individualist, LSL, and see what we might build out of this.
Yeah.
To our listeners, check us out at lifesuccesslegacy.com. You can sign up for learning events. You can find books. You can find learning materials. And if you are a part of the community already and you are not engaged in DIBS or our Discord channel, reach out to us. You can reach out at support@lifesuccesslegacy.com. Make sure you put that in your contacts so that you will receive our responses.
Yep.
Till our next one, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you. Thank you.
Bye.